We should be live. Let me see. Wait to see if D Live worked this again. YouTube is up again. And D Live's up. So, welcome everybody to the Fren Report Live number 6. I'm your host, the Walrus, and with me tonight for the first time on the show, I have G. Somebody got
What's up? I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I just turned on my dryer. My bad.
Oh, you're cool.
Yeah. What's up, dogs? Great to be in. Great day to be an American Patriot.
It really is. And returning to the show, I have Johnny K-Hole.
How's it going?
And we got Jamie Birch.
Hello, Borthers.
Man, lots of happenings tonight, that's for sure, today. Biggest white pill of the day, in my personal opinion. There's been a few, but the biggest white pill of the day to me is that it got confirmed Nancy Pelosi does not have the votes. She will no longer be the Speaker of the House.
Excellent.
I'm literally dripping with semen, dripping with pre-cum at those exact words right now, and it's a great day.
Exactly. How are we supposed to fucking get through No Nut November with that news?
I know, right? I know, right? I'm legitimately concerned because when Trump I'm worried about my penis because the amount of semen building up right now from all these white pills is that when Trump wins re-election through the Supreme Court, I'm worried my penis may actually literally explode like a pipe bomb from the amount of semen that's going to come out when all this news comes out of it, all this.
Right.
You know,
It being November definitely doesn't help that.
Well, if y'all are Robert Sufferpill, y'all know y'all need to retain your valuable body ether, so we can keep on memeing happenings into existence.
Well, yeah, I mean, separate pill, but I actually probably know about a lot of the subjects he talks about. Yeah, I mean, he knows some things I don't, but I know things that he doesn't for sure too. So.
I think it's a great day. I mean, I don't know. I've been on cloud nine since this morning. I guess the energy's been in the air since like this weekend, as far as like the tide's turning.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, man, did you see the Ted Cruz going off on McCabe today? That was a next big white pill there. Because he had,
I did not see that.
Oh, it was epic. I gotta get this set up. I was gonna do it today and then didn't. But I'll probably try it again tomorrow. Or I can play videos and you guys can hear it and everybody else can hear it. But yeah, he laid into Cruz laid into McCabe, and there was a whole big thing about because you remember how Biden had used the Logan Act to go after Fren, right?
Yeah.
And Biden here like today, there's like he had a conversation with the Irish, what do they got, Prime Minister or whatever they got in Ireland, and Boris Johnson. And at first they're like, oh, okay, whatever, there's not much going on there. But then there like came out that Biden had warned Boris Johnson about don't let the Brexit strategy compromise peace in Northern Ireland. Which that's a way bigger violation of the Logan Act than what they tried to get Flynn on, and it was Flynn's idea to do or it was Biden's idea to go after Flynn over the Logan Act. So when Ted Cruz was he was laying into McCabe, and McCabe just like basically shitting his pants because Cruz is like, so weren't you going after Flynn over the Logan Act? And he's trying to talk her out. He's like, basically he said, no, it wasn't the Logan Act, and then defined what the Logan Act does, you know?
Yeah.
It was kind of ridiculous there. But, yeah, he was all, oh, I should take this one out. But that's fine. I'll leave the, still got the black cowboy from yesterday in the slideshow. But yeah, so it was he was laying into McCabe about that, trying to catch him up, and basically like there's no way that McCabe didn't perjure himself there today.
Yeah.
When Ted Cruz was questioning him. And Magnus von Thule just donated a diamond with the message 88. So 88, brother. And another ice cream. 88. Thank you for that. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, what else is going on? There's so much going on today. It's like,
well, my biggest white pill was we got some pretty hard, like some pretty I don't want to say like hard key proofs, but some interesting ones. The Patelka being nominated and getting called out 2 years ago.
Yeah, that one. I saw that one. I was like, oh wow, that actually was something. That actually falls on the heels of because something happened last night that I saw it right after we got off the show, and I was like, damn, I wish I would have seen that. I would have talked about that last night. Because last night we were talking about how what was it, Secretary of Defense got the axe?
Yeah.
And then so we talked about that last night, and then I think this is what it was that I saw right after last night. Right after we got off was that what's his face? I'll probably need to look this back up. So much happening these days, it's hard to keep track of everything, you know?
Yeah.
We'll go back into our chat here. And, I don't know if Twitter wants to be a little bitch. I'll probably bookmark it. I guess I didn't. Damn.
Well, I did regarding the new DOD appointment. I did see a nice non write up that got that was making the rounds this morning on Twitter, talking about how he has a hard on for rooting out the communist subverters within the military ranks, and that if the lower ranks don't get on board, he's gonna like cut them down with an iron fist. So
that's what we need, you know, a new McCarthy.
Yeah.
That or Patton. I mean, we need that kind of energy, like back in the military.
Yeah. Well, we need a McCarthy in the Senate, but well, someone that was actually McCarthy, because McCarthy wasn't as McCarthy as they make him out to be. But
Yeah.
Never mind. I was boomer moment. I was thinking of MacArthur. I guess DOD MacArthur, base general.
Well, MacArthur's the one who wanted to nuke China.
Yeah,
so that is pretty based.
I mean, he was on the right track.
And I'm a fan of MacArthur. But I was talking about Senator McCarthy from the 50s.
Yeah, McCarthyism.
Rooting out the commies.
Yeah, I know. I had, like I said, I had a boomer moment.
He wasn't as hard ass as they like to make him out to be. But damn it, if he wasn't right.
Well, he was a puppet. Yeah. I mean, he's not a puppet, but he's like the straw man they use is like the boogeyman. Oh, he's the crazy anti-communist. That's I don't know.
Yeah, but he was right for one thing. So people felt I mentioned that. Of course, when we hear about him, it's usually through the media, and we all know who runs that.
Yeah.
Same people that created the communists, so.
It's as Alex Jones says, it's the Chinese bankers.
Well, they weren't Chinese, but sure.
That's what Alex Jones. That's what I was being funny. That's what Alex Jones calls them.
Yeah, the Chinese bankers.
It's always a crack on, brother.
Bank. Everything's
China. That's what I was playing on.
Yeah. Oh, and China's got a lot to do with it, but they ain't running the banks. It's the Swiss. Gotta watch them Swiss.
But the Amish. It's the Amish. It's the Amish. Those damn Amish.
Right. I don't have a problem with the Amish.
Well, yeah, but they're the ones that run everything.
I could deal with that. Oh, okay. So what else we got going on today? Oh, this is what it was. Okay, I knew I had it open somewhere. But Richard Pilger, that's who I was thinking about. Well, one of his jobs was to oversee voter fraud investigations. Quit right after. Okay, no, this is what it was. We were talking about how what's his face? Barr had dropped McConnell had dropped his nuts finally. He said some shit right after talking to Barr, and he went and made that speech. So it was when we got off the show that I found out that Pilger quit. Right after that, because it all kind of happened at the same time. What's his name got fired, and that Paquette or whatever his name is taken over for, and Barr went to go talk to McConnell. McConnell made his speech, and Pilger quit. And Pilger's that piece of shit that was like back in the Lois Lerner IRS targeting the Tea Party guys and shit. Back in the Obama administration. He was, balls deep in that situation. But he's also supposed to oversee voter fraud investigations. And he quit. And the guy who was taking his place, so he would have known about all this voting software things that were going on. And his big thing was InfoSec. There was like a list of things, but his main thing is the information security. And so he's going to know what's going on with that. Which, related to that, we're finding out these days that all all these voting machines, definitely in Michigan, and in what's it called? In Michigan and in
Wisconsin.
no, Georgia.
Oh.
I'm tired today, so I'm a little off my
I
game.
know they said that. I know they said in Wisconsin that with the glitch corrected, it automatically put like 19,000 more votes in Trump's favor and got rid of Biden's lead.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I mean, but what I'm hearing, like, they're even looking at, like, Virginia might flip if they really start digging into it.
Yeah.
And there was another one, too, that I was like, really? But, and if they actually do a thorough investigation, who was it? Bronze Age Pervert did a good thread on it today. That they actually posted on Revolver. It was kind of strange to see him on Revolver.
App always gets on Revolver.
Yep.
That's not his first appearance.
Yep. I saw one Wally on Revolver one time too. I was like, oh, holy shit.
Revolver is based AF.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Now here's what Bronze Age Pervert was talking about. Was exposing the fraud means almost inevitably also exposing that inner city votes have been largely imaginary for decades. That demographic does not turn up the vote any more than it can motivate itself to do anything else. Will GOP have the strength to stand by this blasphemous fact? Maybe GOP can subtly avoid having to expose for now that this is part of decades-long pattern. Only thing that changed this time is the scale and brazenness of it. And while GOP had understanding to look the other way in the past, I think they see now that a line has been crossed. And I would add to that, I did add to that in the replies to it, was that, because I had just been talking about that, and it wasn't just that, but all that same demographic, I'll put it nicely that way for now, but that same demographic was the ones suddenly counting, used to be little old white ladies, every other year, and this year they added a whole slew of new joggers, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Riggers.
Your typical courthouse DMV workers, yeah.
Yeah. And that's who was voting. That was, it was blatantly obvious when you're looking, like, every single one of these dudes is black. That's counting the votes in Philly, obviously Detroit, obviously, Atlanta. Well, of course they would be, but but that's where all. I mean, that's all they got there. So, but after on top of all the BLM shit, riots and crap, and them trying to tell us how we're fucking horrible because we're white and all this bullshit, and then when they see that, oh look, it's all these inner city votes that are going towards Biden, and all these inner city types, I'll put it that way, all these inner city types that are counting the votes, and we're finding all kind of fraud. Like, that's going to be a major red pill to a lot of these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll wake them up about demographics going on, and
Yeah, that's why I'm so kind of like, what's the word? Kind of, what's the word? Kind of slow on saying whether or not I hate a lot of these people, and I kind of do, but like I really do think the more people on their side that we can kind of bring over to our side, the better. in my opinion. Because I think you gotta kind of reserve judgment for some of these people because you never know. Some of these people might be ready to, see the light, see the error of their ways, and finally come over to the right side of the aisle.
Right.
And that's, I think, my opinion, the more the merrier. If the more people want to, accept the truth for what it is and finally realize that, not everything's all sunshine and rainbows, that you got to work for your shit and you got to vote. You got to make sure your voice is actually heard. The voices that actually matter are heard. I think that's better.
Well, and I was actually talking about this the other day that because a lot of our side was getting blackpilled because Trump was always talking about lowest black unemployment ever and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But the thing behind that is what he's saying is with the lowest black unemployment levels, that means that's less people on welfare that are coming out of your,
Yeah.
He was that with the lowest black unemployment, that means you got their hand out of your pocket. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And just having a job makes people way more conservative. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What you actually
you kind of have to be.
Once you actually have to work for your money, you don't think, hey, I should be giving this to everybody fucking else too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of goes without saying, like, fuck you, I worked hard for this so I can fucking take care of my family or whatever. And I ain't giving it to just everybody. So they can sit on their ass and play video games and get pregnant and whatever.
Yeah.
All the things that they do.
I'm posting something in the Fren Report Live Twitter group chat. It's a comment the new Undersecretary of Defense Policy, the new appointee that probably got appointed today, said to a John O'Brien Twitter post back in 2018. He said, this is what Brennan said, Senator McConnell and Speaker Ryan, if Mr. Trump continues along this disastrous path, you will bear major responsibilities for the harm done to our democracy. You do a great disservice to our nation and the Republican Party if you continue to enable Mr. Trump's self-serving actions. This was a comment to a Donald J. Trump tweet that stated, I hereby demand and will do so officially tomorrow that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI or DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes. And if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. And this is the juicy part. Anthony J. Tata, T-A-T-A, tweeted, might be a good time to pick your poison. Firing squad, public hanging, life sentence as a prison bitch, or just suck on your own pistol. Your call. Hashtag treason, hashtag sedition, hashtag crossfire hurricane, hashtag Obamagate. That's based AF. That's badass.
God damn.
Well, here, I'm looking at some other shit here that, over on Zero Hedge. Ex-CIA, they're talking about Brennan. The headline says, ex-CIA chief under Obama urges palace coup against Trump so he doesn't declassify everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Donald Trump Jr. Old Jr. was tweeting about how we should unleash the nuclear option and declassify everything. We can't let the bad actors get away with it. And, of course, that kind of snowballed, And,
Yeah.
Brennan got scared when they said that. So now he's essentially urging a palace coup against Trump prior to January 20th to ensure he doesn't declassify everything. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's treason, right? That is definitely treason that you can still get hung for.
Man, I can't wait till the tribunals. I cannot wait till the tribunals. It's going to be so freaking awesome.
John Brennan's going to wish that he fucking got put in prison for what he was doing before. Because after this shit, you know what I mean? Former CIA Director John Brennan calls on Vice President Pence and the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment and strip President Trump of his powers. Yeah, that's not happening for one thing.
No.
That would never happen in a million years. But the fact that he said that, because, you know, Brennan was between Brennan and McCabe, that was the whole fucking Russiagate, Crossfire, Hurricane bullshit there was to begin with, you know? And,
Yeah.
They were already, like, in serious fucking issues. And, I don't know, they probably got some, I don't know what Barr's doing. It's hard to call it, because why did he hold out so fucking long? You know what I mean?
Hey, I don't want to be that guy, but the Q said when they unleash the B2 is going to be deadly. So Bill Barr, whenever they do unleash them, it's going to, I don't know. But
I don't know.
Just want to throw that out there.
I mean,
I'm just, I know most of y'all people don't, but like how I got to this part of the world was through it. So I may rely more on it than others, but I was just throwing that out in the ether.
Yeah. What I'm saying is they already had it. Why is he sleeping on it? Why didn't he do it before the election? It was kind of weird. But
you gotta show the people. I mean, we've red pilled every normie to like how much corruption's in the system right now through all this.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of already. I got my takes on Q that it's the whole trust the plan thing was a way of keeping people calm and not getting as involved as they were, because Q came out right on the heels of Pizzagate, right? Pizzagate was we had some serious energy going there, you know. And it was all independently investigated, and we were finding all kinds of shit, and we were sending it to the CIA or the FBI, I mean, and Interpol, and they would just sit on it. And people were getting really fed up with that shit really quick, you know.
Yeah.
So then comes in Q telling everybody, "Oh, don't worry. Yeah, the good guys will come take care of everything." You know, obviously they were putting out some good information on some points, but also some other that wasn't. And you know, I know the whole thing about why he said he had to do it like that or whatever. But then, what good does it do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, ends up kind of working against the intended purpose, you know.
It doesn't give you anything you can really go on, but it gives you something to focus on besides actually digging up real shit.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you look like extra like conspiratorial to the other side, you know.
Yeah. Like the kind of Alex Jones effect where they're like, because almost everything Alex Jones says is fucking true.
Yeah.
But the fact that it came out of Alex Jones' mouth almost it adds that whole tinfoil hat shit to it, you know?
Yeah. Well, all you can say is like we're like in the process of the swamp being drained. So I mean that's I wouldn't be like saying all this stuff if like on like a video stream, or if like, you know, if it wasn't happening, like what happened today didn't happen. I don't know. Like this is like a big vindicating day as far as like just the hype that's been building. I mean, it's as far as like if you like Q or not. I mean, it's being like the crescendo is happening right now.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. And like, there's definitely big shit happening. And after this, it's kind of good because like. Well, right before the election, Trump finally did the thing with the executive order where he can just fire government employees. Because lots of these should have already been gone for sure. But they had the whole thing. It's damn near impossible to fire a government employee. Well, it was, and then he passed the executive order that he can just, if I don't think you're doing your job, I can fucking fire your ass. And I probably should have done that about 3 years ago, but you know, he did have the whole thing. He had to wait for impeachment to pass and all that go through, you know, finish. It's fucking bullshit, and they dragged that out as long as possible. You know.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Howdy.
Oh,
Better late than never, right?
Yep. Yeah, too late.
Yeah, we were out there doing some gardening.
Nice.
based.
Yeah, you gotta do it before that cold weather gets in, right?
Yep.
So what were you guys talking about before I came barging in here?
All the shit that's happening.
You brought up tribunals, which is interesting because I just saw a tweet earlier today. I'm going to read it real quick from Representative Don Bayer. He says, "This is simple. Donald Trump is openly trying to steal an election he lost. He will not succeed, but we will remember who went along with it. I was just following orders. Will not be accepted as an excuse."
Yeah, they're all
I saw
saying that. I saw a lot of like CNN lackeys. They're all saying the same thing too. Like, we'll remember the names.
Yeah. Oh, they're
You're
digging
absolutely
themselves.
right. These people want to lose. They just want to lose.
Well, they
They're
just
too
said,
stupid.
you guys hear? They overturned Arizona.
Yep.
Good.
So Trump
Oh,
got
that's
Arizona,
new too. So Trump
and there's
got
like
Arizona.
over
Yeah, I didn't even see that.
160,000 votes in my state, in Georgia, are
Yep.
right now in court because they're probably fraudulent, most likely. So,
Yeah.
Good.
and
Nice.
Biden's leaves only by 2,000 here, so Georgia's probably going to go to Trump too. So I was
North
shocked.
Carolina earlier.
North Carolina
Trump
just
flags
got called for
everywhere here.
Trump. North Carolina just got called for Trump. So I think
Oh,
that.
shit.
Yep.
Nice.
I think between
So, I mean,
those three,
I
that's
see a lot
close
of
to
these
an
states
L.
getting overturned real fucking quick. Arizona apparently was funny because, yeah, they just put in the papers, like, we're contesting, we're going to court, we want to recount, and instantly they're just like, oh, wait, nope, it's Trump's, never mind.
Please don't look.
Nothing to see here.
Please don't look. You won.
Yeah, right? Heads are going to fucking roll. But that's the thing, though, the gaslighting, right? And that's what it is. All the idiots, these idiot fucking leftists, man, they're going to be like, he stole the election. It's like, really? How do you know he stole the election? They told me.
Well, that's the thing.
punch
I've been
Nazis.
saying this the whole time. I don't really think the Dems ever really intended to win. I almost think
Yeah.
they wanted to get caught cheating. But
Yeah.
because now it looks like, because they knew Trump was going to win anyway, now it looks like they, or at least they can, to their brain dead fucking constituency there, they can say, oh, Trump's stealing the election. And they've
Right,
already
yeah.
been rioting and all kinds of shit, you know. I mean, I've said this
Yeah, I mean,
every day.
if both sides think that the other one like tried to cheat to win, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's so fucked up, man.
You know, with
They cut off
us,
the
to
press
believe it-
secretary today, too. Fox cut her off. Apparently,
Yeah.
Fox doesn't want to be taken.
Was that
it's
today?
credible
I thought it
anymore.
was yesterday when she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it
So
was
messed
today.
up.
What- God, so much stuff.
No, it was
happening.
yesterday. It
Yeah,
was yesterday. You're right. It
yeah.
was Monday. I just saw the coverage of it today. I don't really watch TV.
Yeah. Because the Fox's ratings have just fell through the damn roof now, or through the floor. Like nobody's watching that. They watch Tucker.
Good.
That's it. You know.
Well, Trump's coming on Hannity tonight,
Yeah.
or was that? Is he coming on, or is they or just like a Trump campaign like segment? I mean, like, is he going to be on there? I'm sorry for rambling.
I'm not exactly sure, to tell you the truth.
I don't know. I didn't see anything about that.
He just tweeted it out like a little while ago.
But
I'll
yeah.
drop a link.
And Georgia's a fucking dumb state to be doing that in, because like that's one of the most well-armed states in the country, and
Yep.
them Georgia boys, they ain't gonna take too kindly to all the Atlanta riggers there.
Yeah.
All the joggers, yeah.
Yeah. Like that's what
I saw
mean,
Biden had
definitely.
like a speech today too.
Yeah. Biden had a speech. Did anybody?
I dropped a
listen to?
link in the chat.
Let me see. Okay, I gotta get it set up so you guys can hear it when I play stuff. Because it'd play over. You'd have to listen to it on the. I can do it, but then for everybody else to hear, but then you guys wouldn't be able to hear it. Let me see. You say you dropped it in the chat. Which chat? On Zoom?
Yeah. Full disclosure, I didn't actually watch it. I just read the quotes that people were taking from it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would do too. I'm not gonna.
Maybe just try something like my
Yeah,
circle.
basically-
We're gonna watch it together.
He's trying to force a transition of power. His
New
legal
York Post.
team or
Biden
whatever.
team's considering legal action to force formal transition of power.
Yeah, but that's not a takeover. That's
not even-
democracy.
Yeah, that's not even. Biden.
I mean, because hey,
Biden doesn't have a leg to
AP
stand
called
on.
it, right? CNN said they project Biden as the winner. Therefore, he apparently won because people don't understand what words mean.
Dude, so who was it that actually was it AP that said that like it's our job as the media to.
Oh, it was kind of like
I think
all
that
of
was
them.
the
All of
Times.
them were on Twitter
I
saying
think.
Okay,
that
was
like a
it
year
the New
ago.
York Times? But they all picked up
Yeah.
on it and they're acting
Yeah,
like
Washington Post, New York Times,
like that's some kind of
CNN,
legal
Deleted their
thing
tweets.
that
MSNBC.
they
with their-
determine the winners of the election. They declare the winners of the election. It's like, and all their brain dead fucking followers believe it. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen so many of these idiots that actually think that that's they all posted.
It makes
about
me
it, so
wonder-
that's- and I'm like, oh my god, you guys are how are you that fucking stupid?
I wonder if they just want to believe it. You know,
Well, that's the
you'd have to
thing.
be pretty fucking stupid to actually think that's the case.
They don't really have any critical thinking. Just whatever they like, they believe. You know what I mean? Because these are the type of people that think that like what they believe is the way things are. You know what I mean?
It's funny too, as they keep going off about how Trump has no basis for what he's saying. There's no fraud whatsoever. And oh my God, and Kayleigh McEnany, everything they're saying, there's no basis of truth in this whatsoever. They're gonna keep blasting that, but then like Arizona being overturned, North
Yeah.
Carolina, they're not gonna fucking announce that at all. That's not even gonna get fucking covered. You probably have to watch international news to find out that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
These fucking idiots asleep, right? So they can just keep screaming, he's stealing it.
He's stealing the election.
He's a thief. He's stealing it.
He's literally Hitler.
I told you.
Oh God, I wish.
He was Cheeto Mussolini. I told you. Fucking people.
Bro, they definitely want to do him like Mussolini when this is over.
They want to do us all like that, apparently. They fucking got lists and
Very
camps
true.
ready. Fucking, what the hell the camps?
Oh yeah,
No, they want
I
to
forgot
throw
to
us all in the
mention-
gulag. What is it? Re-education and
The reconciliation camps?
reconciliation camps. Like,
That's a nice
Yeah.
way to say, yeah, we're going to
Under
fucking
that-
torture you and
underneath that
possibly
tweet I read-
make you.
there's a bunch of people just coming in their pants over the possibility of a new like American Nuremberg trials.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
People are literally saying we want that. So gay.
right?
Yeah, and you know these people are completely feckless in their own fucking life. These are limp dick people. These are people that have absolutely no power. They watch their fat girlfriend be railed by like 3 fucking jumbo bulls. And they're just like, yes, we
Fair
want
amount
these
of,
trials. Because they have no fucking power in their real life whatsoever.
Yeah.
Fucking soy boy, fucking latte. I gotta stop saying fucking so much, but it's so infuriating thinking about these people.
Yeah.
They're punching Nazi campaign. Sometimes I just want to have a punch a lefty campaign. Smack it for today.
They're
No, every-
attacking us
Well, that's
in
what
the
I'm thinking.
streets. I told you these people were Nazi.
Well,
No,
when Trump wins, I think shoot a commie should be a carnival attraction. You know how like
God.
they give you the thing where they give you the BB gun and then they have you shoot that star out of the piece of paper to win a bicycle. if you can shoot the dick off of a communist, win the fucking bicycle. They should have that at carnivals when Trump wins.
They really
Yeah, like
should.
if it's a convicted communist, they need to like take them and tie them up, and then you can shoot their dick off.
Well, there's a keyword, convicted, right?
Well, a lot of them already shot their dicks off or cut them off, I guess.
You might
Yeah.
be doing them.
Alright, well-
Yeah, you might be saving them a couple bucks.
I'm a woman.
Yeah, you're gonna save them the cost of surgery.
Shoot off their female penis. Their feminine
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
penis.
On that topic, I gotta tell you what, every time a tranny gets their reality check, I fucking love it. Like they actually go through the surgery. I'm talking like
Yeah.
man to woman, if you can call them men beforehand.
Cutting their-
And they
cutting their
cut off
ring
their genitals
Yeah.
and then get this giant gaping wound, thinking
Yeah.
they were getting a vagina because they're that delusional.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it stinks really bad.
it's
and
not
it hurts.
like it's not vaginal bacteria. It's like a belly button, so it just smells like shit the whole time.
It's not even a
Yeah.
belly. It's a giant festering wound. It's literally
Don't
a
they
wound.
cut out a piece of your anus and
Yeah,
stick it in
yeah,
there?
no, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Or your colon or something?
Well, they gotta fuck themselves daily.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll close up and heal, and then they'll
Right.
have nothing.
Oh,
I
And
feel
every single time they're so
great
disappointed, they
pity
start
for
screaming.
those people. I'll be honest.
Say again?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
feel bad for
they're
them
like
because
the
they were
biggest
lied to.
victims. Yeah, the biggest victims
Yeah.
of like Jewish tricks.
I
in our-
guarantee you, in 80 fucking years, we're going to be looking at SRS treatment and hormone replacement therapy the same way we look at fucking lobotomies now.
yeah.
Because like what they're doing with like gender dysphoria is a real mental illness. It's a fucking legitimate mental illness, and we're just throwing these people to the curb and telling this is like telling a schizophrenic to listen to the voices and always assume the voices are right and to go shoot up an elementary school because the elementary school is filled with demons. It's the exact same thing.
Well,
You're
they
just gonna
started
cause
it
so
by
much
first
problems.
declassifying it. That's the first thing they did. They said gender dysphoria is not a mental illness.
Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta get rid
That's
of
that's where they first fucking started the disconnect. Instead of treating these people like the mental patients that they are, they started treating them as just patients, like they're going in for
I think,
fucking
yeah.
plastic surgery. Like, oh,
I think if a man feels like he's a woman, well, what happens if you give him testosterone replacement? You know, like what happens if you give that guy a bunch of testosterone? That those feelings are probably going to go away because he's going to feel more like a man.
Right?
he wins gold medals.
Well,
Yeah,
and
they
there's
can
all
stop
kinds
Or
of...
a woman, or like a woman. If you give her estrogen, more estrogen. I think I'm assuming that's like the female equivalent to testosterone, right? Estrogen.
It's a little more complicated than that, but...
Well, if you give them whatever hormones they need to feel more like a woman, well, then there you go. You've cured gender dysphoria. There's a legitimate cure out there, but we're ignoring it.
Yeah.
Just take away their access to pornography. That's how you fucking cure them. Snip
No.
that shit in the
that
bud.
would help considerably.
Yeah, I think a lot of these
I'm
people.
a fucking pervert, but I'm not a fucking tranny or a fucking homo.
Well, sure, but I mean, if you have those feelings and you're, watching pornography all the time, I think it like exponentially magnifies them. You know what I mean?
Definitely a confluence of
Yeah.
factors because there's like all kinds of dietary and environmental factors that throw the hormones out of whack
Yeah.
and shit too. And so
Yeah,
then
that too.
Then you have this build up of estrogen and then access
Yeah, not to mention the dopamine addiction with if your food, the porn, you get addicted to that like dopamine.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest part of it, I'd say, is the fucking... Because they get on social media and shit, and they're fucking... So they get groomed and shit because they're getting all this attention for being fucking... Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah,
For being special.
Yeah, because I'm special.
Well, you know what? Luckily, wiener transplants are a real thing, and hopefully under Trump care, a lot of trannies who finally get red pilled and realize that they fucked up can hopefully get an affordable wiener transplant and finally just go back to living a somewhat normal life.
No. I don't really care what they do.
No. I mean, it's like like this is kind of an unpopular opinion I have that some people kind of criticize me for, and it's every time there's a mass shooting, I feel bad for everybody involved, including the guy who shot up the place, and let me explain why. Like with Nicholas Cruz when he shot up the the Douglas the Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. The FBI knew he was a problem. The school district knew he was a problem. The doctors knew he was a problem. Nobody fucking helped him, and because nobody gave him the help that he needed and just ignored him, like society ignores all mentally ill. There's what, like 14 dead kids and teachers, and now there's a kid spending the rest of his life in prison, all because people wouldn't get off their fucking ass and help this kid.
Yeah.
His classmates too.
We gotta blame the guns. We gotta blame the guns. We gotta blame the guns. Oh, the guns, the evil guns. They're gonna get up and sprout legs and start shooting people on their own if we don't get rid of them eventually. It's like, fuck you, no. Why don't we invest more money into helping people with fucking mental illness? There's the fucking cure right there. Stop putting shit in our fucking water that turns us this way.
If the mentally ill, the left would lose all their support.
I mean,
sure.
they are like.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There you go.
Good
Help
evening,
the mentally
gentlemen.
ill, and we'll get rid of the left.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good morning. Hey, how's it going?
This is Aaron's husband popping in.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's going on, fellas? John F. Ketamine.
Howdy.
Is that your real last name?
No.
Okay.
It's just a fucking name I came up with because it was funny.
Okay, just a guess.
He was hoping.
Were we talking about Dylan Roof just a second ago?
No, we were talking about Nicholas Cruz. But
yeah.
Dylan Roof is another good example.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happens when society, the Joker, like, and look at how the left treated the Joker movie, which is a perfect example of like what happens when you fucking have like a bunch of these people in society and you don't fucking help them.
What you
know,
deserve.
they're gonna fucking snap. Yeah, they're gonna fucking snap, and everyone's gonna get what they fucking deserve.
Part of me, I definitely agree with like everything you're saying, but then part of me is like, oh, are these people though, like the Cruz and the Dylan Roof? I wonder if they are like these CIA operations, these like deep MK Ultra type stuff that was just completely manufactured.
Happens, so.
Every single American in this country is a victim of MK Ultra. There is no specific group of people.
But
that's why they put fluoride in the water and give our children Ritalin. They make our kids take Ritalin and they put fluoride in our fucking water.
Doubt.
We are all a victim of MK Ultra.
Yeah, to a degree, but there's also like more focused ones where they do shit like you ever read like the Saran's doctor and shit, the guy who shot RFK, but he actually like loved RFK, and his mind is so fuckered. Like,
I bet
like
he had a connection to some Fed.
Yeah, his state fucking psychiatrist at the fucking mental hospital he's been in was like, somebody did something to this guy. Like, he's not just weird or crazy, you know. This isn't like somebody like did this to him. Like, there was like layer, like when he was doing like hypnosis with them, there was all kind of weird, crazy layers and fucking shit and all kind of craziness.
But see, here's the thing, though. Like, in order to solve, we do have to recognize these, whether it's artificially caused or they had this problem at birth. We need to recognize they have these mental illnesses, and one of the steps we need to take is obviously preventing the government from doing any more like fucking shit to our water or to our kids. But also one of the main things we need to do. I know. So one of the main things we also should focus on is giving these people the help they need to prevent these tragedies in the future. Because guess what's going to happen? Mass shootings have you noticed how there's been almost no mass shootings under Trump except for the one in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was right at the beginning too.
That was the only one.
That
was the only one.
And that one's incredibly suspect for sure. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Felt a little Ruby Ridge-esque there.
Yeah. There's way more to that story. All we know is that we don't know what's going on. They're like, we'll
I don't know, but see, that guy was a Bernie supporter. So the weird thing about that one though is, I don't know if that one was government caused. I think that one was more of Bernie Sanders using some of his money from his pay like how the Clintons paid him off to quit the race.
Well, he was
to
also
quit running.
He was also a glowy
So-
who was a CIA asset and shit. So
Yeah, he ran guns for the CIA.
yeah, and there was probably some kind of gun deal going on with it and shit, and like there was definitely more than one shooter. Like the
Yeah,
video
I mean,
was
he seemed like
incredibly
just the
clear.
scapegoat. Like that
Yeah.
guy was
He's-
probably dead before the shooting even started.
That's the thing. They said the amount of guns he brought compared to the different types of ammo that was actually used, like way more guns
Yeah,
he had than what was used. So it was like, oh, so he brought all these guns because he planned on using them, but he only used like 2. That's kind of fucked up.
at the
Pretty
same
sure,
time
like-
from different windows.
Yeah, that too.
But the guys,
Like a gun
I
sale.
disconnected for a little bit there.
You know what I thought was
I
funny earlier?
disconnected
You
all.
said like how they blame it on the
Very good.
guns. Whenever it's like
Yeah.
a white person that does the shit, it's always the gun's fault, right? But whenever there's like drive-bys
Yeah.
in Chicago, the gun violence
Oh, that's
in
poverty.
a black, that's poverty.
That's another
poverty.
thing. That's another thing I want to talk about. That's another thing. You know, the overwhelming majority of gun deaths in this country. Could you guess what they are?
I'm guessing
Blakes.
inner cities, blacks,
I'm guessing
gang,
drive-bys,
Try
unsolved
again. Try
mysteries.
again.
something of that nature.
Accidental
Try again.
discharge.
That's
The
close.
suicide.
That's close.
Or
Yep.
suicide, yeah.
30,000 Americans every fucking year. The overwhelming majority of gun deaths in this country occur not murder suicide, but people going into a fucking motel room or in their driver's seat of their car or on their couch with a bottle of booze. A lot of them fucking veterans, by the way, just take a pistol and blow their brains out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they never talk about
And
that.
no one ever talks about that. No one ever talks about that. But yet 14 people a year out of the 350 million Americans we have in this country, that's
Yeah,
the problem.
hey, let's not
the
forget that
crisis
one
we need to
fat
bring
bitch in
back.
Charlottesville.
Well-
I mean,
Right.
Oh, yeah, true.
But we all
Yeah, I
know
mean, that kinda
we all
outweighs the
know for a
30,000
fact that
suicides.
That's
That poor
really
dude,
not
they
the
just
problem.
fell
That's
off
not
the porch.
yeah.
their state. What they pretend to be about and what they're actually about are two vastly different things.
No, I know, absolutely. It's not about saving people. It's about saving themselves. Because they know they're not bulletproof.
Yeah.
And they don't want American people to be able to stand up against them.
Yeah. But like, all right. When you're talking about, oh, we get these people the help they need, so what do? Send them to psychiatrists?
That or put them
Well-
into look at the timeline of liberals
I'm saying-
pulling all the funding out of mental
saying-
They're
hospitals,
not sick,
and then all of a
though.
sudden
Maybe
the numbers of
society
mass
that's
shootings
sick.
going up.
Yeah.
Send them to
No,
Pulling-
I
psychiatrists,
think-
don't
Hold
go
on,
put
hold on,
them
hold on. Pulling the funding out of what?
Liberals are the reason institutions all over the country no longer have funding and are no longer open. So look at when that started in the early 90s, and then all of a sudden mass shootings started happening because now there's no longer facilities, because now some of these people, like, if you can send them to a place other than prison where like obviously they commit the crime, they need to be in prison, all right, maybe a psychiatric ward in prison. But if you can take a person before they commit this crime and put them into an asylum and then make sure that they're monitored and treated and fully rehabilitated before you even ever consider sending them back out in the public, if ever, then these numbers of mass shootings will go down. That's why mass shootings almost never fucking happened in the past when these asylums are still open.
Well, and
And all of a sudden, yeah.
Because actually these all started when psychiatric medication became incredibly widespread,
Yes.
especially SSRIs and shit. That's when
So I wonder-
they started having mass shootings.
You
And
take some of them, you put them in you put them under psychiatric care, and then they're just gonna pump them filled with these meds. And a lot of these
that was
meds,
that was
like
exactly my
antipsychotics,
point.
make you more psychotic. Antidepressants make you more depressed. They don't fix the fucking problem. The problem is society. These people are living in a very sick society and they can't deal with it. I mean, to be honest, how can you? How can a normal person function in the way that our society is?
That's what I was saying. Like, you're sending them to a psychiatrist. That's not really solving the problem, because psychiatry is a large part of the problem. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you're talking about, most of them are vets, right? So they've been in war. They've probably killed people. They did this thinking they were being a good citizen, and they were going to come home, be able to get a good job, find a wife, have, you know, the American dream. Instead, they come home and find out that, like, well, I'm sorry, we had to give your job to this guy because he's black and gay and, you know, equal opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you get pushed to the back of the line. And then they get like no fucking help. They go to the VA. The VA is so poorly funded and been misran for so many years. Like,
yep.
And
thanks to Clinton,
it's
Bush,
not
and
just the
Obama,
war,
the VA is
too.
garbage.
It's not just the war too, because we didn't have this problem with World War II vets and Korean
no, because
vets.
they came home and they were able to get a good job, get
Yeah.
a wife, have kids, and have the American dream. They did their job. And
But
they got
they
rewarded.
at least thought they were fighting the good fight, you know. What
It
I
always
mean?
started. It was the Vietnam,
And then
right?
guess
The
what
vets that
happened?
came
Guess
back from
what happened?
Vietnam, they were the ones that got the shaft.
Guess what
Yeah.
happened?
Because that's when we started
The
doing this
assassination
whole
of John F.
equal
Kennedy.
opportunity and women's lib and all that garbage. So they came back and they weren't getting rewarded. Instead, they were getting spit on.
I mean, in Vietnam, they were at least fighting communism.
Did that help, Steve? Am I still echoing? Apparently, I'm
Echoing
echoing.
for us.
Just do another bump
Totally
academy. It
fucked.
should be all right.
Yeah, sorry about that. My connection's fucking up. As I was saying, like the assassination of Kennedy is when all the stuff started going down the shitter.
Well,
And
that's when the deep state took over.
yeah. And then you see the Vietnam War and all the communists that it is actually public knowledge that it's available to the public, this information, that every single Vietnam protest, every single Vietnam War protest, every single fucking one had funding directly from the Soviet Union. And it was directly an effort to destabilize the country and to split us apart.
No
Of
way.
What a surprise!
Yeah, you've seen that interview with Yuri Brezhnev, who
Yeah.
talks about that
fucking
exact
shit
thing. Like
And
that was
I
the
like
most.
how
That was the most lucid, like sober, comprehensive analysis of like everything that is happening today.
And the
I
fact
like
that
how
it was,
Activision.
and the
I
fact
like how
that it came
Activision
out
for the new.
because what Yuri Brezhnev, that video was like from like 82 or 83, I think, right?
Yeah, that was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, and I've been rereading None Dare Call It a Conspiracy lately. That was written in 1972, and it's talks about very similar things. It goes a little deeper into the roots of communism too, but it does talk about social subversion and all that good stuff, and it's spot on. And it's stuff that, like, in the 80s, 90s, you would have been like, oh, whatever, you didn't know what he's talking. Like, when I first read it, because I first read it in probably late 90s, early 2000s, I was like, okay, well, you know, we defeated communism, and everything's all good now, right? So,
The war on terror was a distraction. Communism is and always will be our true enemy to our country.
well, yeah. Well, even because we were a very decentralized government, you know,
Yeah.
we were designed to be a very decentralized government structure, you know, from the bottom up. That's actually what the Civil War was about, if you want to get down to brass tacks about it. Because it was actually about, because they were Republicans at the time, but the Republicans wanted were building the strong central government and federalizing everything and all this shit. And but even so, we call it the federal government, but the term federal actually implies that it's not in control. You know what I mean? Because it's the Confederation. So it's the But
Say bye-bye states' rights.
exactly.
Hello, Uncle Sam. You know, and I thought here the Civil War
Exactly.
was about freeing the tar babies.
Wait, it wasn't?
They wanted. They were gonna free their. They were gonna abolish slavery in the South. They were on track to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was it?
there was a certain tiny hats that was not going to let that happen.
Robert E. Lee freed all his slaves before he went off and became the
Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee said that slavery is one of the most evil things ever conducted by man. Or something like he said a quote like that, something like that.
Well, he
And, you
freed.
know,
I mean, he freed.
really-
Yeah,
Hey,
those are his words, his
hey.
actions. I mean, he freed his slaves right before he went out to fight for the war, like just so he could say,
exactly.
but because he didn't want people to say, "Oh, this is about slavery." He's like, "Yeah, okay, I just freed my slaves. I'm still going to war."
Yeah, because
Hey,
it was
you know
definitely
what? Hey.
not about that at all.
I was about to say, speaking of slavery, which certain group of people brought them over here again?
Yeah.
The same certain group of people that didn't want to end slavery.
I think it was
Yep.
the Puerto
It's
Rican.
the same group of
The
people
Amish,
that
right?
Amish.
Puerto
It's the
Ricans.
Amish.
Dirty Puerto
Yeah.
Ricans.
Yeah.
Them
It's
Amish.
know,
the
the
same
Puerto
group of
Ricans
people
do-
that have been pushing communism, that invented
fucking ridiculous.
psychiatry
Yeah, they always get a pass.
and
Yeah.
psychology.
I know these freaking Puerto Ricans. Well, you know the Puerto Ricans, see, because they had all those nice cotton fields down here in the South, right? So they need the slaves to pick the cotton, and they put them on their boats.
Yep.
They would go over to India, where they would sew it into cheap fabric, and then they would take it and then go over to England, where the Puerto Rican market is huge. You know,
God, I was talking to someone today at my work about, he's like a Trump supporter, and we've been talking about the election lately, obviously. And he's like, "Oh, you think Trump's gonna win?" And we started talking. I was like, "Yeah, who George Soros is, right?" And he was like, "Oh, I've heard of that guy." I was like, "Yeah, the Jewish billionaire." He was like, "Oh, Jewish? What? He's Jewish?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh man, that's weird. Why would he be in favor,
no.
like on the side of the anti-Semites?" And I was just like, "Oh, geez, okay. I see. You've just revealed your power levels. I've got a lot of work to do with you, kid."
Mm.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." Like you support Trump, so I guess that's a start.
Right.
Yep. He's convertible. We can convert him.
He's not a lost cause.
yeah, no.
No,
He
he's
just doesn't know.
Yeah.
a pretty smart kid.
Unfortunately, what you don't know will kill you.
And I was like trying
Damn
to
right.
explain how he broke
Yeah.
the Bank of England to him, and it's like, what?
Like, when I watched my masters, the Rothschilds, they did this 200 years ago, and I decided to follow.
Yeah, this scumbag who George Soros in like early 90s borrowed like 10 billion pounds and then immediately exchanged it for whatever the German currency was at the time, like the Deutschmarks or
Yeah.
francs, whatever.
No, it was Deutschmark.
Deutschmarks.
Deutschmarks.
This was before the euro. Exchanged them into Deutschmarks and then waited for the pound to collapse, and not just waited for it to collapse. Made it happen. Like gave it a nudge, and it was the
Oh, you're talking
the
about
Black
how the
Tuesday in
Rothschilds took
England. They had
over.
a name for it.
You're talking about
It
how the
collapsed, and then
Rothschilds took over
the
Bank of
pound
England?
was devalued, and he exchanged it back and profited $1 billion.
You're talking about how the Rothschilds
Yep.
took over the Bank of England?
Scumbag.
Are you talking about how the Rothschilds took over the Bank of England?
Oh, same thing.
Oh,
they-
well,
they
yeah, that was
had-
George Soros.
Yeah.
Much
they had
longer.
commercial couriers.
It was
Uh,
in the
I mean,
1700s.
No, it was the Battle of Waterloo.
Yeah, it was a Battle of Waterloo. So
Yeah.
it was the early 1800s.
That was that. Hey, just shows you how Knievel they are. Like, say like they got beat, and then what? How
Yeah. Okay.
how much longer till the real news got there, and like everyone realized like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
we're screwed.
It was a trick. He sold all of his stock, and then everyone's like, "Oh, well, if Rothschild's selling, he must know something we don't." Everybody sold their shit, and then he gobbled it all back up.
Sorry for
Yep.
pence on the pound.
Yep.
It's always that level of
They still do that same
trickery.
Oh, yeah, they
trick.
did.
Wall Street.
Why wouldn't they? You got really quiet.
Yeah, why
Aaron.
not?
You wanna get
Why
closer to your
wouldn't
mic or
they? They
something?
haven't been punished yet. I mean, they've been kicked out of 109 countries, so I hear.
Coming up on 110.
Yeah.
It's really,
Maybe
it's
even
more than
more.
109. Like, I've seen multiple stories. There was a latest one I can think of. It was in, like, I think a Central American country where it was
Oh,
like
yeah,
this,
you're talking about
this like group of Jews in this like
All the
area.
Puerto Ricans.
And they had
Guatemala.
like a little
It was in
settlement,
Guatemala.
and the local people and the government were just like, okay, we've had enough. I forgot what they were doing exactly. I mean, some sort of Jewish bullshit, and they're just like, yeah, all right, that's it. You guys are out of here. And people posting all these tweets, make that 110.
Well, actually,
Yo, Guatemala was 110 already.
Yeah.
They had they were all on an ocean liner partying, and they were like literally partying too hard, rocking the boat, being loud, and the captain tried to. He's like, "Look, you guys got to simmer down." And they started really partying up with their having the bullshit. And he's like, "That's it. We're turning around. You're off the boat." He kicked them all off.
Yeah.
And he said, he was like, "Look, I've been a captain for, I don't know, like 20 years, whatever. Like
Never had anybody this disrespectful.
Yeah, never had anybody this belligerent and disrespectful.
This rude. He wanted to say, "You're worse than a tar
Yeah, you
baby."
don't fuck with the captain on a ship.
No.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with the captain of a ship. You don't do that.
I mean,
no.
I'm sure, well, it was a nice ship, so, like, he obviously does not have a bunch of boogaloos or tar babies on his ship, you know, renting it out, so... I mean, if he did, he was, but you know,
like, never have I had anybody more disrespectful. I'm sitting around niggas.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
He's like, they just can't afford this ship, so. Yeah. Oh my God. How about this media gaslighting operation, where the media has now decided they get to call the election.
Yeah.
They just get to say it. You know, they've been doing that with a lot of other things. You know, they get to decide reality on a lot of things, pretty much, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because they're not using.
And
the word
now they are really making their play, aren't they?
They're not even using the word like.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that before you guys got here, but yeah, I was like, what the hell? Like, they actually like said it's our job to call the election and blah blah.
Oh
blah,
yeah,
blah,
and then
blah.
they deleted it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they put it out
Did you guys
there.
hear that? Did you guys hear that? Or see that video from Fox of the lady caught on a hot mic with the tape running or the video running, and she says during the broadcast, what is this panelist talking about? We called the election. It's over.
Yeah,
No.
We say so.
yeah,
You could tell.
and they
the whole
actually
thing was
act
coordinated.
like that's what's happening. Like that's the real thing.
Yeah. I mean,
You
you
know
could
what I
tell
mean?
it's like coordinated on a global scale, because all these leaders from other countries are, oh, hey, congratulations, Biden. And, you know, when I feel like if this were under normal circumstances, they probably would not be weighing in, because it's still kind of,
No.
it's not clear. And then the way the media I mean, you can always tell the way the media collectively responds in a very unified front, because like sometimes something will happen and, you know, a certain network will put out a certain narrative, and then everyone kind of just picks up on it and goes along with it. And like, that's one thing. And then there's a very pre-planned, which is what this is. And they're all just, you know, they knew ahead of time. They had all their scripts written out, and they're just executing the plan.
Yeah, this is
Yep.
all definitely totally orchestrated, and it's to provide the maximum amount of care. Like, they know they can't just egg us on into shit. You know, we don't take the bait.
I think one of the best things to come out of this is that people are waking up to Fox News and realizing that it's not on their side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
They
after the first debate with Wallace
Yeah.
there, you know what I mean. There was no pretending
Walik.
otherwise.
You can see that in the numbers. So, like, leading up to the election, Fox was killing it in ratings.
Yep.
They were the number one news network going into it for cable. And then immediately after the election, their ratings just plummeted.
Yeah.
People were so mad.
It was
Imagine
mostly
why.
because of Tucker and Hannity too, because they had better ratings than like everybody else.
I hope that Tucker is able to like start his own network, because, you know, he's going to be kicked off at some point.
A lot of people are switching to Newsmax.
Oh,
I was watching it just the other day. They've got Sean Spicer on there. They had the CPAC guy on there. So it's already becoming
The
pretty
CPAC guy.
mainstream. Yeah, what's his name? I mean, he's no friend of ours, but he's the head of CPAC.
Mhm.
OAN
Better
is
than
another good one.
Fox.
One American Network's another good one to look at.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah,
good.
they're pretty good. Newsmax has been pulling out pretty good.
Infowars. How do you guys feel about Infowars?
InfoWars
I watch them.
I like
watch
Alex
them.
Jones. That's it.
Yeah, I watch Alex Jones. I don't mess with PJW or the rest of them. David Knight's alright. I can tolerate David Knight, but he's boring.
Yeah, I don't really watch the.
But he's boring.
Yeah, I like Alex Jones.
I watch it for Alex Jones.
He's good. I don't know. I just get.
I don't get much.
Sometimes.
I don't take much information. It's more for lulz that I watch it. You know.
Yeah.
But I get irritated sometimes when people are like, "Oh man, he's a shill because he's not like doing Nazi salutes and calling out Israel." And it's like,
Well, he does do
There's a
everything.
little cucking for Israel, but you know, like Alex Jones has been in this fight for 20 plus years. He's done way more than almost anybody.
Yeah.
He's such a doomer though. It's just kind of, it's a little difficult to listen to him sometimes because you just.
No, he's not. He tells us as long as we, do what we need to do,
That's
we will
true.
win.
He's a fighter. He hasn't given up.
Yeah. Listen, in any war, no, it doesn't matter what, you're going to hear things you don't want to hear, but it's only the strong ones who can hear that stuff and use that information to their advantage.
True.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like preparing for an invasion and hearing that, okay, the guys we're invading, their defense is right now way too strong. If we go right now, we're all going to die. We're not going to succeed. So what do you do with that information? All right, well, you use it to your advantage. You prepare. You do what you need to do to make sure you can overwhelm their defenses and go in. So yeah, this information, it's up to you to decide, are you strong enough to utilize this information, or are you too weak and is this information just going to blackpill you?
Well, I mean, like, Alex Jones definitely does some gatekeeping too,
Yeah, a lot of misdirection of the whole Chi-Com thing.
Well, I think
I don't know.
Chinese
A lot of
communists
the
are just
China
as big of
stuff-
an enemy as. Well, so Israel can't invade the United States. They can't directly threaten us with military force. So who can they do that with? Well, they can get the Chinese to threaten us with military force.
Yeah, a
So
lot
right
of
now
the
the
China
Chinese
stuff
are their new fuck toy.
I mean, a lot of the China stuff is valid.
Yeah. So right now China's, I think, the biggest military threat to the U.S. because of Israel. Israel's realizing that America is eventually, very soon, going to stop fighting wars for them. So who are they going to get? Well, they're just going to get the next best thing. They're going to get the Chinese to start fighting wars for them.
Yeah, they're already in Africa all over the place, setting up infrastructure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're, that's why I say, like, it's kind of valid because China is buying up a lot of, like, sectors of Hollywood. Like, they are all over Canada as well. Like, they have loads of money in Canada in the stock market and just basically buying Trudeau because Trudeau, oh, God, imagine having Trudeau as your president.
Yeah, but I mean, they're kind of doing like an Israel-style soft power invasion there, and in Australia too. I don't think like an old-school military invasion is really on the table either way. I mean, unless they have to, you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe not,
They
but
could.
still, like all the other stuff is just
it's all a matter.
threatening.
Well, it's all a matter of how many aircraft do you have ready to fly over the sea, ready to fly over the Pacific into the U.S. Do you have enough to where, do we have enough missiles, like all over, like in the entire U.S. arsenal? Do we have enough missiles to destroy, any incoming aircraft? Yes. Well, how many of those missiles do we actually have ready to go on a launch platform to be delivered, to, the streets of, Seattle, Portland, things like that, to fend off Chinese aircraft dropping paratroopers? Well, it's very easy to get enough aircraft in the air to where we've expended all our missiles and they're still sending aircraft. Now they're dropping paratroopers. Now they're dropping their own air defenses so they can shoot down our aircraft and their own armored personnel carriers, their own tanks, things like that. And that's probably what happened. And that's still very possible today. But one thing I wanted to say is with Alex Jones is when he talks about the globalists, we know who he's really talking about. He just can't say it because, and rightfully so, he's trying to make sure he doesn't get. Because if Alex Jones were to start were to say, like, when I mean the globalists, I mean the Jews. Well, that would Alex Jones would probably take a huge hit from that. And he's just trying to preserve himself. But we all know he's talking about the Jews when he mentions the globalists.
It's true.
So he's not he knows his shit.
Well,
He's just trying to
sometimes he actually
self-preservation.
specifically goes against them, and he actually used to talking about it a lot more, and then he married the one, and then.
And then it ended in divorce.
Well, he's divorced her now.
I know
Well,
that.
what a shocker.
That was probably a Mossad op. They probably like a honeypotted him.
He married a globalist, and it didn't work out. Well, I don't know. Alex Jones, I think he's about red pilling people, and if you just come out saying, "Oh, the Jews," that would kind of confuse a lot of people. But when you say globalist, it is a specific thing. I mean, it's not just like, "Oh, Jews in general." I mean, we all know. I don't have to educate anyone here about how they act as a group, but like there is specifically a globalist plot that operates on a international scale that is worth pointing out. That's a little bit different than just Jews in general.
And like genetically they're definitely like a different race, and they do have certain racial. So like they think, oh, it's not all of them. Some of them are just regular people, but so and like the ones that are really in the big conspiracies or whatever, that's not all of them are in that, but they do have the genetic proclivities. Because every single one
definitely.
I've ever met, they ended up acting like one,
Just like another race.
Yeah. And that's where that whole, remember, like, I don't know, it was about 5 years ago or so, they had the big thing where they were talking about, they say there's no genetic basis for race, it's just a social construct and all this, blah, 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 blah. But the reason they said that is because they were including the Jewish DNA with the whites. And so then they're like, there's a bigger difference within the races than there is between them. But if you actually separated the Jews out and considered them their own race, then it was actually clear as day that, no, they're actually very specific DNA markers and stuff,
Nope, looking a little bit clearer now.
Yeah. these people are different.
And they, and you gotta love the going back and forth whenever it's convenient. It's like, oh no, hey, we're not white. We're a separate thing. How dare you? Right. But whenever it suits their interest, we're white. What are you talking about?
Oh, how dare you try to erase us?
They can do whatever they want, right? Must be nice.
Yeah.
All you have to do is like mention their name. I was watching a compilation comedy video. It was like funny comebacks, and this actor Mickey Rooney, I think that's who it was, on like the Jay Leno show. And it was like, I don't know, they were talking about something, and Jay Leno just like very innocuously says, "Oh, well, like ask a question." He says, "Oh, well, I mean, because you're Jewish." And he goes, What does Jewish have to do with it? Huh? What is this, a Nazi camp? Like, really? You go straight to that, huh? It's like, what is this, a genocidal regime? Because I asked if you were like, or didn't even ask.
Say his name and he recoils.
Yeah, say their name and they recoil. Recoil and fear.
It's almost as if they're secretly ashamed of who they are.
Well,
like
I mean,
know that they're
wouldn't you
fucked
be?
up and they don't want it, but they just can't. Absolutely, they just can't live without the power.
Yeah.
So they just put up with it. I almost pity them. Almost. Almost.
Well, they actually. Well, for one thing, maybe a part of it's upbringing too, but there does seem to be some genetic proclivities too. But I don't know, because all the ones I've ever known were also raised Jewish, so it's hard to say. But they have this whole, they really think that they're like God's chosen people, so they're better than everybody else, so it's okay if they do it to you,
Yeah, that ethno-narcissism.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like buying into their own bullshit, like where they will say stuff. I mean, on some level, they know that they're constantly just deceiving and bullshitting and engaging in monkey business. But at the same time, like they'll put out this victim narrative, like oh, here's a clip of a white person who's saying some things that are in favor of white people, and they'll just go off on how, oh my God, what this is Nazism, this is terrible, blah blah blah, write a whole paragraph. And then you're like, okay, so you can denigrate white people all day long. Every opportunity you get, every chance you get, you're just attacking white people. And if someone says like one thing about, hey, wow, why are you Jews always doing this? Oh, shit. Oh, here comes the victim narrative. And like, there's a lot of like actually buying into that shit. Where like
You
they
just
really
mentioned
think
one of their names. That's one of the bigger ones doing stuff like George, you know, and they fucking the convention. Oh my God, that's anti-Semitic. You mentioned bankers. Oh my God, that's anti-Semitic. You mentioned the media. Oh my God, that's anti-Semitic. Like, dude, you're like proving my point.
Yeah.
They always seem to, but you know.
Yeah, it's funny. I never specifically mentioned Jews. I just said bankers, media.
Exactly.
You're the
I've
one
seen that
bringing
all the
Jews
time.
up.
Like, oh my God, that's anti-Semitism. Like
people in Twitter threads will just be like, oh no, I'm tired of these like bankers, and it's just really bad what they're doing. And somebody comes in like, oh, that's anti-Semitic. And it's so funny when you get the people that are like genuinely ignorant of it and like, or come back like genuinely confused, like, what do you mean by that? What anti-Semitic? And then I saw one where this guy was like, oh, because Jews run most of the banks. And it's like,
I
interesting.
thought that was an anti-Semitic trope.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean?
Oh man, there's this on YouTube. There's this. It's actually run by a Orthodox Jewish group. They do like a kids show. It's the same ones that do the Cars for Kids. You know what I'm talking
Cars
about?
for Kikes.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Hey, you gotta be
Watch the
careful.
words.
Gamer word. No gamer words allowed.
Oh, are we live?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
tykes. I think he said
No,
like a little. It's a
no,
kid
we're-
show.
we're-
It's
we're-
kids
we're-
cars.
we're-
What? No, guy, I'm talking about the charity Cars for Kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's spelled with a K, so it sounded a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about tykes. Okay.
Which show though? Is it the quest for the one with Five-ish?
Five-ish,
good one.
yeah. that is the most like, dude. It's if you watch it, like, it's fucking hilarious because it's like you keep thinking like Sam Hyde's got to be behind this somehow, like
Right? Yeah. It's honestly, it's pretty amazing
Yeah.
that exists.
Like
It's definitely not meant
Dr.
for us
Cackle
to
and
ever
Mr.
find.
yeah, it's Orthodox Jewish. He's a $5 bill. Can't make this up. And like, there's just so much in it that's like every episode, you're just like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, who's a better friend to a Jewish child than a $5 bill?
Right? Exactly.
What show are you talking about?
Five-ish.
I think
Called
it's
Five-ish.
the quest for Boys or something.
Huh?
Is it called Five-ish? I
It's
thought it had
called-
a
It's like
different-
Five-ish and Friends, I think, is the name of the show.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys should check it out. Like, if any of us made it, if anybody else pretty much made it, it'd be like, oh my God, this is the biggest anti-Semitic thing in the world. But
It looks like something that one of us did make, yeah.
it really, like, I kept thinking, like, every time I'm like, Sam Hyde has to be behind this somehow, you know. Turns out it's just a giant troll.
You can't keep getting away with it.
The Jews gave me a hemorrhoid and my ass hurts really bad right now.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of Sam talking about the shooter meme? And he's like, yeah, I've legit been visited by the FBI like twice because of the shooter meme. And he was like, the second time they were like, okay, you know, we'll put a note in the file here, you know. It's all a joke. Like,
we'll put a note in the file. That
yeah, it's like they come out and he's just like, yeah, they show up and I, you know, calmly bring them and explain the internet to them, and it's like they go away. I didn't kill anybody.
I didn't kill anybody. It's just a meme that people do. It's funny. He can't keep it. That's how he gets away with it, though.
Yeah, right.
Now he's got it in his file. He get away with it every single time.
Can't keep getting away with it. Oh my God damn it!
Like,
he can now. He's got the note in his
We
file.
can't have him in our grips.
He can get away with it now. That's that big brain action right there.
It's kind of the only action you need.
Oh, so what? There was like a lot more happening today too. What else was going on? 10 attorney generals joined the Supreme Court case against Pennsylvania.
Oh.
I can barely hear you, Aaron.
Oh, I'm far away from the mic. They're firing the one here in Georgia. I'm not sure if it's our attorney general or.
Yeah, I saw that too. I forgot about that, but yeah,
who's our governor's firing him?
It was the head of the.
Somebody's fired him.
I think it was the. What do they call it? I think they call it the president of the Senate, the Georgia State Senate. I think was the one that was like asked him to turn in his resignation.
They politely ask him, "Let's not make a scene."
Right.
It was a mutual decision.
Once that they do that, you know, ask him to turn in his resignation. Nicer way of doing it than just saying you're fired. You know.
Yeah, and it's, you know, because from there it's like, okay, you can resign or we can make this. We can make this ugly.
If you resign,
it's like
you still
being
get
fired,
your.
but with a little more dignity.
Well, if you resign, you still get your pensions and all that shit. So.
Yeah, you probably get a little. Yeah. Get a little, I don't know, package maybe on the way out the door. Yeah, rather than it's like, okay, you know, you go kicking and screaming though, you ain't gonna get shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can be a big pain in the ass about it and we'll fire you. It'd probably be a bigger pain.
Did you guys see Mike Kamala?
Huh?
Did you guys see MikeKamala.org?
Yes.
No,
MikeKamala.org.
MikeKamala.
Everybody in the chat, check out MikeKamala.org.
I'm
going to link it in there.
Because this is the funniest shit ever.
Oh.
MikeKamala.
I'm really hoping it's a joke and not like one of her sites.
It's not one of her sites.
That reminds me of.
But it was funny because I found it because she had put the. She had she had wrote a post about I'm launching my Kamala for blah 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 blah, and then somebody put the link in there, and oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was so good. Whoever did that, we're proud of you.
I think it was Frank Hassel that did it, or Sam Hyde. Because it's got a picture of Frank.
Oh my God, her face is so fucking horrible.
It's got a picture of Frank Hassel at the top of it, so.
You're welcome, chat.
It's got a picture of Frank wearing his MDE shirt, so. It's got to be one of them, you know. Creepy, ugly Kamala.
Completely black eyes.
You are a stupid, annoying bitch. You are so ugly and annoying it makes me want to puke.
Hey, dude, look at the picture with her. She's got like fucking black eyes and shit.
I know.
It's not a doctor picture, by the way. That was from like an interview she was doing on TV one night.
Yeah.
It was fucking creepy. That's not
Maybe
Photoshop.
the eyes are edited a little bit.
No, straight up. You can find.
again,
I'm
make
sure you
an
can find the video, but it was this weird thing where her eyes kept like blacking out while she was speaking. That's just a screen cap.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Your face surgery is
seems
so
like the
obvious.
shit when everyone was
you
like,
should get a refund
was
and
like,
jail the
saw
butcher
those,
who operated you before I find him myself and say, I want to shake your hand like the guy from the plane videos.
That kind of seems like that shit where somebody took a video of an interview with Obama and used really shitty like After Effects to give him lizard eyes.
Right.
You know, and every
Yeah,
fucking
Yeah, I know what you
conservative mom on Twitter's like, Obama's the Antichrist. I'm like, well, yeah, he probably is, but you know, I don't really think he's a fucking lizard reptilian though. Like,
Right.
come on.
Right, yeah.
There's times where I think, you know, maybe these people really are just like demons or possessed by demons or something supernatural.
I mean, it legit would not surprise me.
I think our brains just keep trying to find rationalizations for evil to exist, and it's really like, it's just that simple. Evil exists. There is no fucking, you know, lizard aliens. It's just sometimes people are just fucking evil.
Right.
Are you one of the lizard aliens?
I mean, I could like go into
No.
the
Yeah.
whole,
Yeah, that
like,
sounds like something a lizard person would say.
Kind of does.
Oh shit! I don't know, man.
he
What
wants
eyes
us
on
to
you?
believe that they don't exist. That's
That's right. He's
exactly
trying to...
what the lizard people want you to think.
Exactly. We're on to you.
You ain't fooling me.
Call headquarters. I think we got one.
Oh shit!
We're gonna send you back over the ice wall.
Then I have a cat knock me off the shelf.
Oh yeah, have a cat knock you off the shelf. Well, yeah.
You might need to capture this one just to prove the real.
Duck 8KK over here says, "Wow, Mike Kamala gave me cancer. Thanks." They donated 10 ice creams, or 1 ice cream.
You're welcome.
1 ice cream. You're welcome.
What do you get from those? Like the lemons and the ice creams and the what? Like, do you get money from those?
Yeah, if you get like 100
After you
million
get
of them.
like, yeah, it's a bunch. I think they lowered it to like
Yeah.
5,000 now is the minimum payout or something. But
Oh shit!
yeah, it's quite a bit. But you can eventually, or if you get a bunch, you can. You know.
Somebody in chat said, Mike Kamala gave me cancer. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
She is a fucking ugly bitch, though.
Oh God, and her voice.
It's
is
so,
so
like,
fucking-
you know, yeah, I'm sure y'all heard it with the whole her sucking dick to get her job and whatnot. But it's like, seriously,
yeah,
if you were
absolutely.
a dude and she wanted to blow you for a job, wouldn't you just be like, no?
Well,
Well, maybe
not
she
think
looked
that-
better when she was younger.
no, it said it was a
Maybe
black
she
guy.
when she was younger.
No, it was
Oh,
a
it was a
black
black guy. Never mind. Never mind. Sorry. That was a white
Mystery
guy.
solved.
I always thought that was kind of weird. Like this idea that like, oh, you could just like blow somebody and literally get a job, and it's usually like these very high level jobs. It's like, yeah, like we're talking about a job that's like a huge salary or comes with a lot of power. Yeah, I don't think it's worth just like a blowjob. You know, it's kind of crazy to me.
Well,
I mean, maybe
I mean,
if,
like,
if
she
you're
Well,
in
you
like
said,
a,
it was a black guy, so
I mean, maybe if you're in like a relationship with these people and you're like sleeping with someone, then
yeah, no, it was like a
work
thing.
your way up that way. That's probably
It was like
more
a thing.
realistic. I don't know. Like, what is
Ongoing
the story?
type
I've always
thing.
heard that. I don't know the exact story on how, like, what were these accusations of her blowing her way to the top? What point in her career did that start?
Oh, early.
Immediately.
That's how she got her start. pretty
college.
much. Well, it was in San Francisco, wasn't it? That's how she got head DA there.
How she gave head.
Yeah.
She got ahead by giving head.
That's how she. Yeah, that's how she got. How she became the DA in San
Yeah, she pulled
Francisco,
Willie Brown.
and then somehow Willie Brown helped her get into Attorney General in California, and then that's all. And she went from there.
My God, have
Animals.
you guys heard about the current Attorney General in San Francisco? who's like
The
was
communist?
like literally a member, or he
No,
was
he's the child
he's the child
of
of
the two founding members
yeah,
of the
the Weather Underground,
Both of his parents were in federal
Oh, wow.
murder
Yeah.
for, like, his father's still in there, but the mother
and he's
got early
just
release under Clinton.
well, he's just another one of these Soros plants. You know, I'm sure you've probably heard people talk about that. Like, there's a whole bunch of DAs in all these cities that Soros dumped money into getting them elected, and like this is why you see these Antifa scumbags, you know, go out and like, you know, just smack someone, crack someone's skull open on camera. We have their
Yep.
name, we have everything, and then they get like 30 days in jail or something, or if that, if
Yeah.
anything. You know, it's because of all these
Usually
DAs
not
that
even that,
Soros put in there.
Yeah.
Even if they go to jail, you know, Kamala's out there donating to bail funds to get them right back
all
out.
that bullshit.
Which is crazy because when she was like the DA in San Francisco, like she was like locking people up as long as possible for weed, but then the
nice.
jigs selling crack in the Tenderloin, they did it like openly. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. I've sort of noticed in our justice system where it's like you can have people going to jail for a very long time over just bullshit, and then at the same time, there's just a lot of people that seem to get off with nothing after multiple offenses, like serious crimes, which I think is one of the tenets of the Frankfurt School, where it's like, yes, completely invert the justice system, favor the criminals and disfavor the victims of crimes,
Yeah.
which is just really sick.
Well, it's because you don't understand, okay? Because of racism, the criminals actually are the victims.
the criminals
Goddamn
are the
right.
victims. Some Orwellian double
Well, only
speak
if they're
there
black.
for you.
Only if they're black.
Only if they're black, because they
There's
got
I
because they got to
I heard-
live in the white man's world.
I heard a really sad story about some girl, and she was a part of like the Grateful Dead, like one of these groupies, or well, there was like a group that was
Not
following the
groupies,
Grateful
but they just
Dead,
followed 'em, yeah.
and they were
Deadheads.
I did that for a
yeah,
while.
they were well, it was this organization. They were selling acid, and they would follow the Grateful Dead, and the FBI
I
or
wouldn't call it
DEA
an
or-
organization. It's not very
Well, there was just a
organized,
drug crew. It was a fucking drug crew selling acid and other drugs, and
Yeah.
they had an investigation against them, and they busted them, and they all it was a RICO case, so it's like everybody was connected, and they all served time, and everybody rolled on each other, so they cut a deal, except for the girlfriend of the ringleader, who the only reason she was a part of it is because she like answered the phone of some other dealer and like relayed a message, and it was like something like that, like that
Yeah.
was it. And because she wasn't involved, she had nobody to roll over on, or she
Yeah.
didn't have any
She
information.
didn't even know
so she got
anything
like
to roll over. Yeah,
she got like 10 years, and while she was in prison, she was on the phone with her mom, who was being somebody was breaking into her home, and this burglar like rapes her mom, and she's like calling the cops, and they get the cops over there, they catch the guy, but he goes into prison and gets out before she does.
Yeah.
It's like, what a sad story.
yeah, it's crazy.
I had some of that acid. The Grateful Dead acid.
Oh, so you're partly to blame for that.
I mean, if you had acid, it probably went through there. Anytime in the 90s or early 2000s, it probably went through the same people. So
That made it special.
It was Jerry's acid.
It was Jerry's acid. That's right.
Jerry Garcia.
it
I don't
was.
really like the ice cream, man. That Cherry's Garcia. No. Fuck that cherry ice cream bullshit.
I like Jerry Garcia.
I do not like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either.
See, we're gonna have to fight over this. This is grounds for divorce right
I don't-
here.
Anybody else like Cherry Garcia?
Gotta be quite honest. Not really
No,
a
it's
big fan of
disgusting.
Jerry in
Alright.
general.
Yeah, they're well, boy, they turned out to be total liberal shills.
Oh, they
Yeah.
turned out to
Yeah,
be.
they're
Geez,
almost
you didn't know
Ben
that?
and Jerry.
They started out.
Well, no, I don't. I
Absolutely
mean,
not
I don't
been.
pay
Did you,
attention.
did you honestly think they were conservatives?
But there
Well-
used to be a time that people didn't shove their politics down your throat. They just made ice cream. So like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, you guys like, oh, they started. Well, yeah, there was a time in my life where they were just ice cream, and then this like I don't know, Trump thing happened, and I noticed all the bullshit they were saying. It's like, okay, I just didn't notice they were saying all this stupid shit before.
remember when the actors you didn't really even think about their politics at all? Like, I miss those days.
It was just
Well, I remember when it started, it was like all of a sudden, like every actress and fucking band and fucking all of it in the world is trying to push for Hillary. You're like, what in the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they needed them too, right? Like they needed all of. She's like the most unlikable person in fucking history, right? So they needed to mobilize every aspect of their power to shill for her.
Apparently, they needed more than that, but
Yeah, just a few more celebrity endorsements, they would have got it.
Yeah, just wasn't quite enough.
But I mean, clearly they thought it was going to work. They thought that, I don't know. I guess they probably thought that the media was a more powerful tool than it was, and it probably would have been if not for the internet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If not for people out
no
there
doubt.
to push back on everything that they were feeding to you, a lot of people would have fallen for the trick. No fucking doubt about it.
Yeah,
That
No doubt.
that's why they're so afraid of us because of the.
I mean, it came down. I mean, you take
power
away
we-
all the voter fraud, even in the 2016 election, he probably would have won by a much bigger margin. But in the end, Trump won by like a few, like a couple tens of thousands of votes in a few select counties and states. And it's like that's not a big margin like that. Yeah, I think you could say the internet like definitely is to account for, just a few, like 40,000, 50,000 votes in a few areas. 10,000, I think, in
Don't
Michigan.
you guys think about that? Don't you guys get aggravated when you hear them scream about get rid of the electoral college, or during the whole thing, right? Trump tried to get it so when you fill out your census, if you're an illegal, you got to put that. If you're not a citizen, you have to put that in census. And of course, California, no,
Yeah, that's
we
bizarre.
need more representation. So no, you can't do that. They
It's
count.
like, if
It's like
if
they
it's
just
not
want California
Yeah.
and New York to fucking
Mhm.
just say everything
if
from
it's
now on.
not okay to put on the census, like, are you a citizen? I mean, just asking the question. Hey, you could still lie, but just putting that question on there, like, if that's not okay.
Putting the question
then-
on there.
Yeah,
Like, seriously.
then why not just send these like forms to Mexico? Just send them to fucking Africa. Like, I guess they have no meaning if you're not allowed to put that question on there.
Right.
Build my fences out in Africa.
Just as legit.
It's called illegal immigrant. Like, what is unclear about that?
Even if they're fucking
Yeah.
legal, they should still like be able to put that on the census that
Yeah.
I'm not a citizen.
I'm not a citizen.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, if it's not like a negative thing inherently, then what's the problem with identifying it as a trait or as
And the
a,
census
you know
is
what I mean?
supposed to track like what demographics in the country and stuff, right?
Yeah,
So
in all
those
the
exact-
countries.
that would be like
Yeah.
an important demographic that you're sitting there trying to figure out is how many immigrants there are in the country.
Hey, don't be racist.
Yeah, how many brown people we got in here?
how many brown people we gotta be?
Too damn many. A doish.
How many brown people we got on the ship anyway? I knew it. I'm surrounded by brown people.
Oh, hey, speaking of brown people, I wanted to bring this up real quick because I thought it was fucking hilarious. I dropped it in the Fren report chat. It's a picture of Kamala Harris walking, and next to her on the wall is a shadow of like the silhouette of the first little girl to go into like to be integrated into white schools. There's like a famous picture of her being led by like two
Where'd
Like
you find
army.
this?
A shadow of a demon, you mean?
On D-Line?
No, sorry, in the group chat.
I'm not in that group chat. Is that like on Twitter?
Yeah, because it's on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you couldn't possibly be in it.
Yeah, I gotta show it 25
that's,
times. Okay, I get the fucking message, Jack. You goddamn scumbag.
I'm
Here's
not
the
in
thing.
chat.
If I was like on there talking about let's rape some children, I'd be verified.
Yeah,
we'll just do that.
They supposedly just changed the rules where they no longer.
Oh, yeah.
Minor.
Yeah, that's
attracted
true.
persons.
Protect what?
Well, at least for now, until the whole
So they
laptop
claim.
thing is
So they claim.
blown over.
The
They'll-
maps,
they'll
minor
look at-
attracted persons. They're no
Yeah.
longer.
But anyway,
yeah, I wonder if it's
Oh,
because of the
wow.
campaign. If everyone's saying that Jack's a pedophile, I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
It's so crazy. Like, oh gosh, geez, you finally took a stand against pedophilia. How brave of you guys! Wow.
Right.
Hey,
hello.
let's pat you on the back for that one. Like,
Bold,
oh,
daring.
like 10 years later.
Finally, yeah.
So
after
basically-
protecting them, after treating
Yeah.
them as a protected class forever.
It's like it's been like a good solid 5 years of them just like running wild, and it's like, we've discussed it and decided maybe we're not gonna let them, just propagate their pedophilia.
But anyway, the
Oh,
irony of
wow.
this picture, like they're acting like, that little girl is like, a civil rights figure or whatever. They're like, oh, she's the first black girl to go to school. So now, Kamala, the first black woman to be in the as a vice president. Well,
She's
black
a
in quotes.
shapeshifter
She's
too.
not even
She's
black.
black when she wants to be.
Yeah,
It's
oh.
funny
well-
because that little girl, they had to have the military escort her into the schools because the public was completely against it. Like, they were going
Yeah.
against the will of the people to integrate schools. Nobody fucking wanted it. So the implication here being that nobody wants Kamala in the White House.
Yeah, that's kind of
She's
funny.
the first unwanted black woman in the White
Oh,
House.
yeah, like
Fucking hilarious.
busing was incredibly unpopular, even like for blacks. Like, could you imagine like what they did in a lot of these cities? They took half the black population and half the white population and just like bust them across town to the other school. It's like, yeah, you think the black kids are like, oh yeah, I want to go to another
it's
side of
fucking
town.
wild.
I
Like,
want to go to
for-
Crackerville.
I wanna go-
where maths is hard and shit.
yeah, I want to go like
wanna
45
go to
minutes
black
across town
school.
every day to a school that's foreign to me, away from my friends.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, yo, give me that school, boy. But yeah, it's hilarious. Like
Give
they
me that
just they
school.
cannot produce
Give me
produce a
that
meme to
school.
save their fucking lives.
Yeah.
Every piece of media they write where they're supposed to look like the good guy or the victim or the hero, they always end up looking like trash anyway. Like, it's completely against their nature. It's fucking hilarious.
They can't produce the short time memes, but they can produce Hollywood production memes. I mean, we got to give them credit on their movie propaganda, if you want to call those memes, I
Yeah.
guess.
Although I feel like it's definitely losing its power to some extent.
Yeah.
People are a lot more wise to that type of shit these days.
It only works for a while until people figure out what's going on, basically.
Yeah, and it especially works really well on midwits,
Yeah.
which is, the majority of the population, sadly. But they're the people who fall for that shit. It goes over dumb people's heads, and, anybody over that bell curve is too smart for it. They see right through it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's like when you watch old commercials from like the 50s and 60s, they used to work really well,
Yeah.
and then their tactics started falling off, They had to.
Yeah, it worked
Up
so
their
well
game.
back then that people today still look back at it and are like, "Oh, based, return to based to 1950s."
Right. That was completely made up by the.
Yeah, some of the I know this is kind of like a liberal thing to rail against cigarettes, but like some of the ads in the 50s about how, cigarettes are so great, like they're awesome, they'll make you healthy. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, 9 out of 10
lung
doctors.
cancer's just a fucking lung cancer. Just was made up by the liberals. Nobody had lung cancer before anti-cigarette ads. Come on.
9 out of 10 doctors prefer camels.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they
I just
never
quit
actually
smoking.
made claims that it was safe or healthy or anything like that. They would just.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, they would just say 9 out of 10 doctors prefer camels.
And that 1 out of 10
straight.
doctor is a Nazi.
Oh, well, what's he smoking? Let me get some
Or a
of that.
communist. Yeah, that was the big enemy back then. He's a commie.
Well, you know, kind of still is, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was fashionable to be against communists back then. Let's put it that way.
Well, like I said, the war on terror was a distraction so the communists could have a stronger foothold in this country.
It's always a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, communism is still alive and well. It just has a different name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Judaism?
Communism, socialism, there's very little difference in the two.
Same thing. Judaism.
Marty Robbins. You know.
Bro, I've seen photos and clips from the 50s, and people are like have signs that say communism equals Judaism.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like senators in
was
like
that
very
Rockwell?
public hearings, or like, you know, this communist thread is a Jewish thread and things like that.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
people,
Back when you could actually call a duck a duck.
it's like, I don't know, it's interesting how with the advent of the internet, where it's like the access to information is much more easy, but at the same time we're so much dumber. And it's like
Yeah.
back then, it's like people seem to know these certain things that you wonder how. It's like, I wonder how this was so widespread when like there was no internet, there was no way to easily access this information.
I want to go back in time and find the person who invented the calculator and kill him. Because no one knows fucking math anymore. No one knows math anymore because of fucking calculators.
Well, some would argue that mass literacy is an issue on its own, and you could definitely apply that to math as well. Like, not everybody needs to know it.
Well, and here's the thing: everybody knows how to read, but how many people actually do it?
Right. Or, I mean, or can do it past just like looking at the word on the page and understanding what that word is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could read like
Or just going
Headlines
or just
and-
treating high school like it's fucking important.
there's not a
You know,
whole lot
like
of
now no one treats high school seriously anymore. Everyone's just
No.
like, oh, if you fail, you fail. You can get a GED. You can always, you know, go to adult education and get your GED. Fuck that, man. Emphasize the fact that if you don't graduate now, you're never going to be taken seriously. That's what we need, regardless of what the literature is just like, if you make people understand that, hey, you need to graduate with a good grade point average, or else you're not going to fucking amount to anything. Whether that's true or not, that's the kind of direction we need to go in. Because then everyone's just going to be smarter by default.
On top of that, too, I think it's really evil the way they promote. Like, everybody has to go to college. If you don't go to college, you're just going to be a loser, and you just have to go no matter what. And, like, I'd say at least half of them, I don't know what the numbers are, but half of them are probably just going to drop out, and it's all just about, oh, we just need to get you in there so we can charge up a bunch of debt, and who cares? Even the ones that graduate, it's like, oh, well, yeah, hey, you're in debt like $100 grand, $50 grand, and that's what this whole system is all about. And it's no longer about, hey, we should just promote like workshop trade schools. Like when I was in high school, nobody ever like said, hey, have you thought about trade school? Have you thought about electrical or construction or some, you know.
Yeah, when I
trucking or
was going,
something
like
Or
that.
just teaching, or just bringing back critical thinking. Critical thinking. Bring back critical thinking in school.
because I think it was in the '90s where they really started pushing that you had to go to college, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. But like, oh, you need to go to college, blah blah blah, and there was no trade school. Like trade schools were really looked down on and stuff. But
Yeah.
That's for the Mexicans,
Yeah.
okay?
yeah,
Yeah, I wasted a bunch of time at college, a bunch of money, and like 10 years later, you know, ended up in trade school anyway.
right. Because that's what you need.
Like
to
I would
actually get a
I would
job.
be in such a better position if I just went to,
Just
trade,
went to
school
trade school,
right
yeah.
after high. Like, oh my god,
Exactly.
much happier too.
If I would just like went and learned welding or something.
Well, I'm glad it. That's
Well,
why
I'm
I'm.
electrical now.
That's why I'm glad I got
Yeah,
my
that's a good
CDL.
Yeah, CDL's pretty. You'll have good
Nice.
job security for a long time anyway. Till they automate the trucks anyway.
Oh yeah. No, they're not going to do that. There's too many truck drivers.
Yep.
There's too many.
There'd be
We
too
wouldn't
big
let
of
that
a-
happen.
It almost seems like
We're going to get electric trucks. We're going to get electric trucks before we get autonomous trucks. That I know for sure.
yeah, because I don't know. You got to
Even
wonder
that, but
if it
even
would
that's
be
still a good 10 years
if it would
away.
cost less to have an automated truck than it would to just have a truck driver. Because you know, you would have to have someone operating the truck, like on one end to the
Yeah.
next, like making sure the truck gets
I don't understand
from point A to point B.
the only autonomous. I don't understand why the only autonomous vehicles available are electric vehicles. Like, why don't they make an autonomous gas vehicle?
Because
It's
how's it
fucking
going to
stupid.
stop and pump gas for itself?
How is it going to stop and charge itself?
Well, that's a good point too.
Same way. Have you seen the video of the Tesla like doing the automated docking system where it has the thing come out with the arm and they have the fucking what's the song? It's that one fucking love song where it's it's like about fucking and it's yeah, like the car's
Oh
fucking the outlet.
God! So super cheesy, like, oh hey, we're gonna propagandize you into accepting this.
I didn't mean it. Yeah.
Isn't it so cool?
I think that was a meme somebody made of it. Yeah.
Oh. I just saw this. I just saw this on Twitter. From President-elect Joshua. Twitter has already removed this because they can't put a disputed tag underneath. Joe Biden named suspect in Ukraine criminal investigation
Oh.
by a Ukrainian court. It was ordered.
Oh
that he was
yeah,
listed.
that actually came out like a little bit ago, like a week or so.
I did
ago.
not see it.
What was it? Say that again.
I really hope that leads to something. Biden was named as a suspect by a Ukraine court for a criminal investigation.
Oh, well, I guess Biden can't come in and squash that investigation this time.
I mean, with how things are, it might not go anywhere, but I'm gonna definitely keep an eye out for that.
I mean, yeah, I guess if he becomes president, yeah, it'll probably go nowhere. But I mean, I'm sure.
Why even bring that
I
up?
assume
He's
you
not
guys
gonna
know the
become
story.
president.
Do what?
He's not going to become president.
Yeah, most likely not. But I assume you guys know the story of how he went to the Ukrainian, whoever he talked to. He was like, yeah, hey, if you guys do not fire the prosecutor investigating this company that my son is a board member of, then you're not going to get this money. And he admitted it, like he's on video saying, oh,
Yeah.
sure enough, 2 hours later, that son of a bitch was fired.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we got to listen to all these retarded liberals be like, my God, you guys, these conspiracy theories about the Biden's involved in Ukrainian corruption. But yeah, I guess taped confession is
Yeah.
not good enough.
He was bragging about it, but somehow,
Yeah, right.
that wasn't enough, you know.
Like, and the fact that it happened. Like, this prosecutor that was fired is an actual guy. Like, he was actually thrown off the case. Like, this is a real company.
Yep.
These things happen. You can connect the dots. Oh, these people, these like retarded normies and NPCs that just, it's like, if you dare to make any connection from like, hey, like literally point A to point B, I'm connecting these two very simple dots, and oh my God, conspiracy theorists, you're just like way in the clouds, man. It's like, yeah, okay.
Right. Oh, that's crazy. Except that he admits it. I mean, like, see, they actually like did a lot to mess up the conspiracy theorist label. You know, the old days of YouTube was great, but there was so much ridiculous shit out there that it kind of, you know, because like,
well, you know, the CIA came up with the term conspiracy theorist to label everyone coming up with theories on why John F. Kennedy was assassinated and how he was assassinated.
Yeah, they propagandize the term, like the term conspiracy theory is a conspiracy theory.
Right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it was used to denigrate anybody that was talking about things that they didn't want you talking about. And like, so, okay, YouTube, they started putting out, because there was like these crazy disinformation campaigns, so you could fall in these rabbit holes, and they were to distract you from what's really going on. They were entertaining as all hell. They were better than anything on TV, for sure. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen what Twitter is doing to, hold on, I'm gonna find a screenshot of it. It's like, if you, like, put certain words in anything you tweet, it's like, if you put the word vote in something, it'll come up with, it'll have that little, that
oh yeah, they were doing that
bottom.
with the, what was it? Vote, hammer, and scorecard.
The Arizona ballot Sharpie.
Current gender identity, sexual orientation, preferred gender
Wow.
This is for fucking a dermatology appointment.
Wow, so my wife is filling out something to go to the dermatologist, and, you know, it's like typical forms, or, you know, married status, age, whatever. And gender, here we have birth sex, male, female, current gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, preferred gender pronoun.
Oh, Jesus.
Go to a dermatologist.
Remember when you just had their two boxes? You know? Sex,
I
male,
know.
female.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Like,
Have
to go to the
Venus or no
dermatologist.
Venus?
Huh?
It's like,
yeah. Venus or
I
no
mean-
Venus? Oh, they made the most simplest thing in the world
It's
complicated.
just fucking like, hey, I got a skin problem. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna need to know at this current stage in your life, what
How
do
many
you
people
do
down
you
here
identify as a
Well, that's
dragon?
how I know how many
Right.
Fruit Loops actually live in the Atlanta area now that were actually at this dermatology office and bitched. They were at this hospital and we're like, I can't believe you're not asking me what my preferred pronoun is. Like, how many people before they had decided, well, we better put that on the form? Because it couldn't have been one.
Right.
Jesus Christ, man.
Man, I mean, you see how these people are so diabolical, because it's like, imagine running a like a medical facility, and then like you just got all these people like bitching and complaining, why are you not putting the preferred pronouns on? And you're just like, oh my God, I'm trying to run a pretty complicated business here. Whatever, fine, just put it on there. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's like they play on that. They play on the fact that these people who are busy and trying to run a business are like, oh, okay, whatever. It's just easier to just go ahead.
Yeah, and not only that, but they're also playing off these people don't want to like hurt or offend anybody, and they don't, you know, because they're busy. They just kind of wave it off. They don't really see it as a big deal. Like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. But it's like, Jesus Christ.
I'm
dude.
gonna say something, and I don't want you guys to think I'm a fucking Fed poster or anything like that. But
Too
this is
late.
my honest opinion. we see how much of a fucking stink liberals like to make about this shit, and yet you look at us, and we're always the peaceful ones. We're always the ones who, even if we go out and protest and we make a mess, we always make a point to clean up after ourselves, so it looks like nothing ever fucking happened when we leave.
Yeah.
All right, but I think maybe it is about time we start acting like they do. Maybe it is about time we start fucking throwing shit around and start burning shit to the ground.
Well, the
you know what I'm
problem
saying?
is,
We're not going to fucking take this shit anymore.
the thing about that, we're the ones that built
Real,
this
it's
stuff. We're
like,
not going to tear it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Does it fucking care?
We
We're the
actually
ones
like
who
want
have
to
a
be able to
stake.
go to work and feed our families and shit. Like,
Well, you remember Kristallnacht when all the base Germans, started burning down all the Jewish-owned businesses, but they never touched any of the other businesses. They just burned down the Jewish ones.
I don't know about Kristallnacht being
Maybe we should
all that based. I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure that Hitler was against that, and that was Goebbels
Really?
behind it. And I feel like Hitler was pissed at him afterwards, and because he was like, "You gave them ammunition, you gave them what they wanted,
I can
you
see
gave
it
them the
doing more harm than good in the long run.
and exactly, you gave them the victims." I mean, look at how it's remembered today. Like, yeah, it worked, but against them completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Well, it's getting late here.
I don't know,
so
man. It's just I don't feel like we're gonna get anywhere if we don't do anything.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah.
Well, I think certain people on the right have embraced that that mentality that, like, you certainly have to, you don't want to go full left, but you got to embrace some of their strategies a little bit. You can't, like, this weak ass sort of conservative, like, well, I'd rather lose gracefully than win, dishonest. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? You get no points for like losing gracefully and just not engaging in
No one
anything.
ever
But, hey,
remembers
it's
the
like, hey, if
fucking
you're gonna
losers.
win, it'll be great.
Nobody remembers the losers.
Okay.
And not only does nobody remember them, but the people who write history are free to write it about them however they see fit.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think people are starting to realize more and more that, like, it is a war that we're fighting, and when you're fighting a war, it doesn't really matter what you do to the other side. Like, it just matters who wins and who loses.
Well, and it's
that is all that matters.
The fact that look how bad.
And I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, like, if we had to drop 2 atomic bombs on a country to get them to fucking stop doing their shit, then all right, so be it.
But look
if
how
we
bad
had to
they
use
had to
shotguns
cheat.
and trench warfare,
Look how bad they had to cheat to get this election from Trump. He had more people voted for Trump than voted for Obama in 2008. You know what I mean? Because it was lower in 2012.
And the only other person who ever had more votes than that was Joe Biden.
Just happened to be.
Same, just conveniently.
Just conveniently happened to be.
There was a 210% voter turnout. Miraculous voter turnout there was.
It was like I would even say it was a 6 gazillion% turnout.
Yeah. Can you believe fucking Biden got 6 gazillion votes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
Is
I mean, first
just
it was
enough,
like 1 million.
Just enough to beat him, right?
I know. It was like in this one
Amazing.
city, it was like it started out as 1 million. I think it was like Auschwitz or something. Auschwitz, Michigan.
Auschwitz, Michigan.
It started out as 1 million, then they changed it
Really?
to like
It was at 4. Yeah.
yeah, it was at 4. They changed it to 1 million, but the overall count didn't go down. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Wisconsin had 100, like well over 100%
Yeah,
voter
like
turnout.
110% voter turnout.
Yeah, like that's interesting.
And then we gotta listen to these like lefties on Twitter, like, oh, yeah, maybe if there was some evidence, we would listen to you. It's like,
Well, they don't know how to do math.
Yeah.
They told you last year math is racist.
There's literally like evidence everywhere you look. There's no way you can't find the evidence if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Where's
say
the
voter
evidence
fraud.
being shown
Just the
on my
fucking shenanigans.
news network?
Right.
Well, it's not on the mainstream media news, so therefore it's racist evidence. It's made up clearly.
Or my favorite, they always
why
say,
would
that's been
professional
debunked.
journalists not cover it?
That's been debunked.
hashtag debunked. Okay, I don't think you get that.
But you never actually see the debunking. Like, and if you do, it's
Yeah.
like
They said
Snopes.
it. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
And they like
Bro,
straw man
Snopes.
some argument that what nobody was actually saying.
But,
and
like
say,
you look at like
oh, that
Snopes,
made it not
where,
true.
where they're like, oh, Trump said there was like 30,000 votes. We did the math. There was like 29,376 votes. Debunked. What a liar.
Debunked. God, that's another Trump lie.
Like, we give him 3 Pinocchios on that one.
Right.
Dude, every time somebody would tell me that, they're like, "Oh, Trump is such a liar," and I said, "Well, tell me one of his lies." And they're just like, "Oh, you're just some idiot." I'm like, I just literally asked you, just tell me one lie, and you can't do it. And I just never got one. Never got fucking one.
He lied about not being a Nazi. Oh. Yeah, dude. Somebody I follow tweeted, "Would you vote for Lowe's or Home Depot as the best place to buy a hammer?" And it's got a little Twitter thing below it. This claim about election fraud is disputed. Like, bruh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think they stopped doing that because I tried to get him to do it. I was like, "Do you guys want to vote on where I should pick what kind of hammer I should get?" Like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and
like,
you
what's with the
and you
hammer?
said
I get
ball
the
peen
vote,
because ball
but
peen's funny.
yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go with ball peen because it makes me giggle.
You know,
why is hammer a trigger word?
Ball's penis.
Because there was this whole hammer program thing that the CIA had developed to
MK Ultra people.
to manipulate elections in other countries. So they were saying that
Oh,
they used
God.
it here, and it's probably
Yeah, they would
true.
never do it here.
No, of course not. That's ridiculous.
Well,
Hey,
actually,
that claim
no.
you just made has been disputed. And
It's really
I'm
funny.
going to provide a link to what you just said.
That's
I was watching,
That's been debunked.
I was watching Steven Crowder earlier. Don't know what you guys think about him. Whatever.
That's been debunked. Joe
and he was
Biden
bringing
said
up how
he did not use that.
all these YouTube videos, no matter what they are, whether it could be like Fox News or whatever, you go to it, and if it's about the election, right? Like Kayleigh McEnany, you go out there, talk about all they got to put a warning, like they do, right? Like, hey, this is like misinformation. Click on this article for the real deal. And they constantly send you to this AP article that just says, voter fraud is very rare.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? This is your proof that what they're saying is bullshit by linking an article that's like, it happens, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's the circular argument. We don't look for it because it never happens.
Well, the funny thing is,
You know what I mean?
videos could just
They
be
banned
about
it for
election
being
hampering,
fake, so that
not necessarily
it's
voter
fake.
fraud, but just the shenanigans that was going on, like how they blacked out the windows, how they kicked
Yeah.
out all the Republican counters, how they kicked out Democrat counters who were calling like, "Hey, no, you can't count those votes." All that shit.
Yeah.
And those videos have that link under it to click to the AP article.
And it's like I was saying yesterday, because everybody's like, "Oh, where's your proof?" I'm like, "Okay, you don't understand. In this situation, this is not a criminal trial where we're putting somebody away at the moment. Now, those will probably come at some point in the future.
Yeah.
All we need to do is cast a probable cause for an audit, and there's plenty of that."
Well, look,
Yeah.
when these people say this, just be like, hey, where's the proof that Assad in Syria got 99% of the vote? I mean,
Right.
where's your proof that he didn't get that?
Yeah.
You're saying that's voter fraud? Oh, well, where's your proof, bro?
Where's your proof, bro?
Where's your proof that the Venezuelan president didn't get whatever the fuck he got?
Post
Right.
proof, please.
But
Yeah, where's the scientists that say that was legit?
right, this climate scientist says that that's no way.
Yeah, I've discussed this with Bill
Yeah, the
Nye.
Church of
He
Climatology.
disagrees.
Right.
The Church of Climatology.
He has a degree in the social implications of global warming, and he said that.
Yeah, I love this. Like, voter fraud is very rare. Like, okay, I guess in terms of the percentages of people that exist, you could say that the number of them that are murderers is very rare. Just like the people that vote, the amount of people that are committing it's very rare. because most people just go and vote and that's
Yeah.
it. It's very
Like,
rare.
have you looked? No, we didn't look because it's never there. You know?
It's like, yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be like 2% of the votes are voter fraud, but that 2%, because most elections are like, roughly 50-50, and
Yeah.
a 2% fraud
Yeah.
could swing it. It's like, hey, man, that's pretty rare. 2%, that's like nothing, bro.
2%. That sounds familiar. What else is 2%?
Ivy. He's on to us. He's on to us Puerto Ricans again. Let's wrap it up.
Oh God.
Oh, God.
Well, the country's about 2% Amish.
My
Right?
glasses, my
Get
glasses.
back to our island of Puerto Rico.
The
I feel another
country's
show
about
a couple-
2% Amish, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Amish,
Yeah, I mean,
That must be what I was thinking of.
The
Yeah.
Swiss. It's the Swiss.
Or were you talking about the
2%
13% that grew
2%
like 50%?
Swiss immigrants.
2% Swiss Miss.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap this up because it's getting really late here.
Jacob, this
Okay.
was awesome.
Oh
again.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll
See,
be
Huck's
back.
name this time.
We'll be back
I'll catch y'all on the
tomorrow.
Twitter group chats. Take care.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not in that
Yeah,
Twitter group
G, it's good
chat.
having you on, sir.
Jacob,
I'll
you
be
should
back.
put my husband in that group
You gonna let
chat.
me in that group chat?
Yeah. What's your ad on Twitter?
Anti PC culture.
Yeah,
And-
anti_PC
that's
_
it.
culture. Michael,
Yeah, it's a really gay name.
are you still using your friend report Twitter, or are you using the other one? Because you have like
My
two or
ad
three
is
of them.
Fren Report. It's actually well, because I'm looking in the wrong place here. My ad is Fren
Walrus-
Report. 'Cause I
Walrus
changed
Friend?
the other one. Because I changed
Walrus
the
Friend?
other one.
Well, yeah, because you had friend
Yeah.
report too, right? But you hardly ever
Yeah.
use that one.
Well, because when I came to Bulgaria, I got kind of locked out of it. So it still exists, but I can't use it. So
Well, that
I had
explains
to
why
make
it's
another
been-
one. But I had anticipated that.
So is it Walrus Friend?
Is it
Well, friend report is the one he's locked out of.
President-elect Walrus Friend?
Yeah, that's it. I just followed you, so.
Yeah.
And there you go. Now you can add him into
Now I
into
can
your
add
group
him into
chat.
the group chat.
He could be cozy.
All right.
All right.
You guys, this was fun though. We gotta do it again.
Yep, I'm doing it every day.
Yeah,
so
Proud Catholic.
you're welcome.
Well, you can always send us the link.
Oh, I just
Yep.
saw your latest.
I can throw it in the group chat and you
Every
can get it
single
from there
time.
now, too. Yeah.
Proud Catholic who has a Jewish family. Of course.
Yeah.
You know how many of those proud Catholics there are that are actually part of that 2%?
All of them, by the way. I mean, all of his children married Jays.
Well,
He's got
outside of that,
Trump
I bet when you look down his lineage, he actually is. He's probably crypto. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot, like I said, back in the day, there was a lot of them that converted to Catholicism to the point where a bunch of them became priests.
He's proud of his Irish heritage.
wouldn't even matter.
The Irish Prime Minister said so.
Yeah, so proud that he's buying into a different bloodline.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, the lizard bloodline.
Very cool.
Well, the Pope wears a tiny hat too,
the
so
Swiss
you know.
bloodline. Those
All right, guys.
Amish Swiss. All right, so I added you to the.
Globalist bloodline.
You're in the group chat
All
now.
right. I'm gonna go ahead and hop
There
out
now.
then.
Yeah, you
I'll,
guys.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be
Have a
back
great night,
tomorrow.
guys.
HH.
Same bad time,
That's
same
it.
bad channel.
Yep. And
Alrighty.
I
Sound
got.
like a
There's
deal.
only 3
Awesome.
lemons in the chest, so I'll let that ride till tomorrow. Oh, well, never mind. I'll put a few in there and make it maybe worth distributing.
I never grab the lemons. I'm slow with the lemon grab. Doesn't matter, you know. You need, like I said, you need like 90 million before you can get like $10 or something. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
and
I
if
mean,
you're
I'm
listening
exaggerating,
on
but
DLive, follow me on YouTube too. I'll put the YouTube link. 'Cause I'm like 2 followers away from having my own custom link on YouTube.
oh, well, I'm gonna have to follow you on YouTube
Yeah. So if I get
on
those,
my anonymous
I'm in good
account
shape.
here. My anonymous YouTube account that I'm keeping hidden.
Actually, I think
world.
that's the show link, not the channel link. But
Is
you
it Friend
can-
Report?
Yeah, Friend Report.
Oh, there you are. Live streams.
Yep.
Friend report live streams.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sub, buddy. You're at 99.
I'm at 99 now. Yeah, I was 2 away, so now I'm at 99. It still says 98 for me, but maybe if I refresh.
I told you made that comment the other day. You know.
Yep.
Lost half your subs. They all took off. They're like, we can't listen to this guy.
Yeah. No, I need one more. So I should be able
Well,
to
as soon as
pick that
Hubs
up.
comes, he'll hop on there too.
Sweet.
But we will talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. You guys have a good
No
night.
winners this time. It all stayed in the thing. Nobody was paying attention. Okay, cool. Well, now there's more lemons in the chest for tomorrow. So anyway,
Woohoo!
thank you all for showing up, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out, brother.
Take it easy.